Hey everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back. Today's card is in honor of me having a blog anniversary and reaching 4,000 followers here on YouTube. So I'm going to be using some products from My Favorite Things because you guys are my favorite people. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have already die cut out some very pretty color drops. These are from the new release from My Favorite Things. So I went ahead and got started on that. And I'm also going to be using just some Nina White Solar white cardstock, 80 pound. And I'm also going to be using my new Xyron Creative Station light. You guys saw me use this to make some very pretty glittery paper. This little machine is a lifesaver now in my craft room. I love it. It stays out on my countertop. It's never going to go back in a box. So if you ever want to make card panels that need to have adhesive from edge to edge, this is the tool you need. So I'm going to go ahead and just swipe my hand across that just so I can make sure the adhesive is sticking. And I'm going to be good to go. So just to let you guys know, there's a blog hop going on over at my blog. I have some of my favorite ladies joining me. We have some gifts to give away, so make sure that you guys head over after watching the video and give everybody some love. I was so fortunate to have all these wonderfully talented ladies join me, and all of their creations are based off of a video that is here on my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate them joining in and hopping along with me. So don't forget to make sure to comment on each one of their blogs for your chance to win some of the goodies. Alright, so now I went ahead and I stuck that beautiful blue paper down. And all of this paper, I believe, was cut from paper I received from My Favorite Things as well. So now what I'm going to do is just put in all of those pretty color drops. This is a really simple and easy technique, you guys. It really makes a really great impact on your card where you don't have to do a lot of stamping to get your color. So I stamped out, as you can see, some pretty shades of orange, some green, and some pink. I've already made a few of these cards already, and they look fantastic. I just gotta say, they look absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop in those last couple of pieces, which is this beautiful pink. I love this pink. And I'm going to pop in that last pink. Oh, no, that's right. This paper here is basil paper. This is not from My Favorite Things, so I take that back. Sorry about that, you guys. So now you can see how pretty that is already. But we're going to bump it up just a notch. I also picked up from My Favorite Things last release is this framework background stamp. I really like this background stamp, and I wanted to add just a bit more texture to this card panel without adding a lot of bulk. So I had already did a couple of these cards already, and I've just been kind of playing a lot more in my stamp room. So I figured, hey, if I'm going to make it, I might as well show you guys as well. So I'm using my EK Success powder tool just to go around each one of the dots, because that adhesive from the Creative Station light, I want to make sure that is not going to be sticking to my embossing powder later. So next I'm going to grab my Versamark, and I'm going to go ahead and get that really worked on to my background stamp. Now, because this paper has a lot of tooth to it, I am going to actually repeatedly stamp this image onto my background. Now, if you create this card, you might not have to do that. In my case, I just wanted to make sure that I really got that impression good and really crisp lines, because I know sometimes when you're working with basil paper, because the tooth in the paper, it actually has a texture to it, like really fine lines. I just wanted to make sure that this design would show up. So you're going to say, well, why are you stamping so many times? You can probably get it the first time. And you can. My case, my ink pad I felt was a little dry, so I didn't want to risk just stamping it once. So yeah, this is probably overkill, but it's okay because we want to get to a good, pretty card at the end, right? That's our mission. All right, so I'm going to do that one more time because remember I said 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink that up one more time. And I'm actually seeing it as I'm stamping. You guys can't see it, but in real life, I can see it at an angle and I can kind of see the lines. I just want to make sure I get it perfect because this card is for you guys. Totally for you guys. You can leave it this way and you see a nice watermark on it, but I'm going to add some white embossing powder to this. Just by adding a little bit of embossing powder, it's going to give this background a great added textural feel without adding any bulk to the card. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop some of that powder on here. And like I said, this is a card in honor of all of you guys who follow me here on YouTube as well as on my blog and on all of my other social media channels. I swear without you guys, I really would just be talking to myself and making videos just for my own pleasure. But you guys have really helped me to keep on this path of my creative journey, learning everything new and new techniques and bringing it to you guys. And I cannot thank you enough for giving me the likes and leaving all your great comments and actually sharing and with your friends and helping me be all that I can be. So I just want to make sure I told you guys how much I appreciate you. All right, so back to the card. I'm just going to tap off some of that excess, and you can see it gives a really nice dimensional aspect to the card. It looks really, really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat gun, but what I want to make sure is that I don't mess this up. So I'm going to grab a pair of tweezers and I'm going to heat up my gun on high and I'm going to get it really, really hot before I actually bring it to my paper. I'm going to brush off that excess real quick off of my craft mat because I don't want that to melt into my craft mat. So I'm going to bring that back in really quick. I'm going to grab my tweezers and I'm going to actually hold that in place until it starts to melt. And I'm going to pick this up, but I just want to make sure that I get some corners already heat set before I actually pick it up with my hands. And then I can go ahead and finish heat setting that. It's like magic watching embossing powder melt. All right, now since that is done, I'm going to go ahead and trim down this card panel just a little bit because I want to go ahead and mount this onto some black cardstock. So I just want to trim this down just so I can have a tiny little border around this. So I'm going to trim that down. I'm going to actually trim from all 4 sides just so I can kind of get it a little bit even on every side. I just don't want to trim from one side. So I'm going to take a little bit from this end as well. And it's just even, that's all. Because I didn't want one side of it where my dots were to be off on the other side. All right, so now I'm going to grab some black cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And then I'll have something to go ahead and mount that card to. That looks a little bit better. I just didn't want to put it on white. So I'm going to grab my ATG gun and then we can get this part finished of the card. I'm just going to line that up and then we can put that down. And look how pretty that is. It doesn't add any more bulk to the card, but it really looks nice. Now I'm going to use a big fat thanks die that's also from the My Favorite Things new release. And I'm going to grab my T-ruler. And this is going to help me line up that sentiment. I've had this T-ruler now for years, and it is definitely a lifesaver in my craft room. So I'm going to make sure that I get all of my little letters. And I will have to say, so I'm really into big, bold letters now. I used to have foam letters back in the day, and I used to love them because I love the big graphic look of them. So I'm really glad to see that they're coming out with really larger dies. I think it's such a great look for cards. And look how pretty that looks sitting on top of those color dots. It just looks fantastic. And that's how big my thanks is. That's how big my thanks is to all of you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this down. I'm using some art glitter glue for this today. And I'm just going to go ahead and start putting some of that down. And I'm going to use my tweezers to help set that on the card panel. So now over on my blog, you're going to see some very, very talented ladies that are along the hot with me today. But you're also going to see some prizes. So make sure that you swing by everybody's blog and you go ahead and give them some love. And like I said, these ladies are some incredibly talented ladies that have been with me on this remarkable journey of making videos and crafting. Some of these ladies know me quite personally. I've had the chance to hang out with quite a few of them, and we have known each other for years. Some of them I have known longer than others, but each one of them are a valuable friend of mine, and I just love them to death. So I hope that you will find inspiration from their blogs as well, and make sure to follow them on their social media because they not only inspire me on a daily basis, but I hope they will inspire you as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put down that N, and we are almost done with this card. So you can see that just having that little bit of that white design from that background stamp really just gives just a little bit more of a great texture to this card, and just a little bit of a splash of white, just a little bit of brightness to the card. All right, now we just need to put down that S, and this card will almost be finished. Just going to put a little bit on there and then pop down this S. Now the whole time I'm doing this, my hand is resting on that ruler and I've been shifting it a little bit. So I'm praying to God that I did not offset that too much. I think we're looking okay. All right, now you guys know I always use the majority of the time a white card base. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my white card base and we're going to go ahead and get this panel onto a card. Again, I just want to thank you guys for making my YouTube channel what it is, as well as my blog and all my other social media. Without you guys, like I said, I would really be nothing. Thank you guys for always leaving me love and supporting me. And I want you guys to have a fantastic day. I'm going to wish everybody the best of luck. Don't forget to comment on each one of the blogs. And I will see you guys in another video. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.